Oh yeah, so this is what we'll be initially talking about, right? What about AWS? Just introduction of what is AWS, why you're looking at AWS, right? So these are the various things which you are going to cover at a very high level. And what are the certification parts? Then we'll start with cloud computing, deployment models, delivery models, and then how do you create a free tier account? And for each of this, we have a lab. What is that we plan to do? And what are the various services at a very high level, right? And then we'll go with this EC2, and then we'll have a hands-on lab on EC2. And then we have SQS, then you have Elastic Beanstalk, then EBS, then ELB, auto scaling, S3, and then Glacier, IAM, and then VPC, then CloudWatch. And then you have RDS, SNS, and CloudFormation. So these are the various things which you are going to cover. Okay. So my training course actually will include overall concepts of AWS. What is required for you to get a job if you're looking for a job, or what is that which is required to upskill yourself? Currently, you are in other area and you want to move to cloud. The third thing which will help is in terms of practical scenarios. We'll give a practical scenario for you, which you have to do that as part of the lab. So this is what we are going to cover. Now we'll give a brief demo about quickly about your this one. So I'm just you're able to see my instance, right? You're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just give a brief. Okay, let me log in. It's asking for just me. Give me a minute. I'll just have to log in. Just a second. I have to log in. It's an ask for an MFA code. We'll explain that as part of the class. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch an EC2. This is the console. Okay. I'm just going to launch an EC2 instance. So I'm going to select Amazon Linux AMI. So what is AMI? AMI is nothing but your software configuration, which consists of your operating systems, applications, and your software settings, which will help you to launch the instance. Now we are looking at free tier only because this is a free tier account. I'm going to select Amazon Linux. So this is what I'm going to select: Amazon Linux to AMI, and then SSD stands for solid state device. It's a 64-bit. So I'm going to select this, and uh, and I'm going to select the instance type. So we have various instance types because these instance types, they're used for various business use. For example, you have because these are the instances which are nothing but virtual servers. They run applications, right? So we have general purpose, we have T2. Okay, so which comes under general purpose category. If you look at the family here, right, this is the family type, and then you have all these are the various instances then memory optimized, compute optimized, storage optimized. All these are the various things which gets used. Now we are going to select T2 micro. Okay, and so it has got this combination: one virtual CPU, one memory, EBS, which stands for Elastic Block Store, and look at the performance, low to moderate. So it is used for testing purposes, general purposes, comes under general purpose family. Okay, I'm going to select this. I'll click on next, and this is where the configuration of the instance comes. I'm going to select only one instance. You can have many instances. You can configure also, or you can launch this particular instance into auto scaling group. We'll cover this as part of when we get into the detailed topics. You have purchasing option. This is a spot instance. So what is spot instance? So spot instance is nothing but Amazon will they don't have, so they will make use of the unused EC2 instances. So they define a price. For example, most of the price is 3.5 cents per dollar per hour, right? This is $0.0035 is 3.5 cents. Okay, 0.35 cents, 0.35 cents per hour. Okay, this is 0.35 cents per hour. So if I bid, okay, for 0.36 or 37, I can get to use this particular instance. And if somebody else bids higher than 0.36 or 3.37, then they will get to use it. So this is mainly used for testing purposes or development purposes, not for production. So I'm not going to use this. And this is what is a VPC. VPC stands for a virtual private cloud. Okay, and you can create a new VPC or you can have a default VPC. So you will have 5 VPCs per regions. You can have 5 VPGs per regions. I want to install this instance in the default VPC, and the subnet is my default subnet. I'm not going to change anything in this. Auto assign public IP. If you want this, you need to enable it if it is to be assigned a public IP from by Amazon. Placement group. Okay, placement groups, there are multiple options is there. This is used predominantly for higher redundancy and network throughput. So either you can create a placement group or you want to add an existing instance to a placement group. We'll not do anything on placement group now. Capacity reservation, this is used to reserve the instances in a specific availability zone. We don't want to do this now because this is not possible in free tier. Then similarly, domain join directory. This will help you to join your instance to the Active Directory, which is defined in the active AWS directory service. So there's a separate service called AWS directory service. It can help you to connect to that directory so that you can have a single sign-on. I'm sure you all of you would have heard about your Microsoft Active Directory, similar to that. So to join a domain, you need to have an IAM role. Of course, this IAM role helps you to connect, communicate between two different services of AWS. We'll see that as part of the later class. Then what is the shutdown option? What happens when you shut down the instance? Do you want to stop the instance or terminate the instance? And then similarly, enable termination protection. You can protect the instances from accidentally terminated. So if you select this option, then you cannot terminate. You have to go to the instance settings and then uncheck it, then only you can terminate. By default, AWS for free tier gives us monitoring for about 5 minutes. If you want to enable detailed monitoring, which is every 1 minute, then additional charges will apply. We'll leave it as it is. Tenancy is how do you want this instance? How do you want the run? How do you want to run your instances on the physical servers? Right? Whether you want on dedicated, whether a dedicated host, it will be shared. A shared instance, right? Hardware instance or dedicated instance. We'll look at shared because all these are costly because it's not possible in free tier. So Elastic Inference will not be using this, but basically what it does is it provides a cost-efficient means for all the types of EC2 instances, especially if you want to speed up the performance. So we'll not be using this. It's not applicable for free tier. And the other thing which is we are going to look at is in terms of the network interfaces. So by default, each instance, since it's a virtual machine, it has got an Ethernet default Ethernet port ETH0, and what is the subnet, and this is how it is. And you have IP version 6, IP version 6, which is IPv6 IPs. So it doesn't support this. And then now what you are going to do is we are going to give a script. So I'm going to write a script uh, for Amazon Linux. So I'm going to write the script. I'm going to write the script. Basically, this script is going to install Apache, and it will display a message called "Welcome to Java Home" when I click on the IP address of the uh, IP address of the particular instance, which is the public IP. So this is what I'm going to do. So we'll go through this. Next, I'm clicking on next, adding storage. So by default, you have the storage, which is an EBS. EBS is a block level storage. And there are other things like object level storage, file level storage, all that. So this is on the block level storage. So this is your root volume. Okay. So if you look at this, right, free tier eligible customers then get get about 30 GB per month. Okay. So use 8 GB. So one thing is required as part of the free tier, as and when you create resources, please make sure that you delete or terminate the instances so that you don't incur charges. So this is what I'm going to do. This is my root volume. This is the device ID, which is the device name, and this is the snapshot. So when you create an EBS, a snapshot gets created, right? It it is a snapshot is nothing but a point in time image of your particular instance, which all with all the data, and this is default size, and this is the general purpose. Of course, there are other things like provision IOPS magnetic, but we'll be using only general purpose. IOPS stands for input output operations per second. Throughput is whether you want to support streaming data or streaming volumes. That is what is throughput, which is measured in MB per second. Delete on termination, if you delete this particular EBS volume, will this also, when you delete the instance, will this EBS volume will also get deleted? I have click on yes. I'm not encrypting this, so I'm clicking on next. I'm adding a tag. I want to give a name. The name is Apache Linux demo server. Okay, this is what I'm going to give. This is just a name key value pair. So you can, the use of the tag is helps you to search the instances in a faster manner. So I'm going to configure security groups. So I'm going to, there's an option to create a security group or select an existing security group. I'm going to select an existing security group. I already have a security group which opens, let me see. Okay, so let us create a security group now. I will see Linux Apache, Linux Apache. So by default, you have SSH. I want to open this from my own IP address. And then I want to add a rule. Since it's an Apache web server, I'm going to access it from anywhere. So I have to give this. So I'm opening two ports. One is SSH, which is used to do a connection from your computer or from your laptop through SSH. HTTP if you want to access the web server through a browser. HTTP is always anywhere. So if you look at this, what is this? These are various types of ports, protocols, right? What type of protocol it is, what type of ICMP, LDAP. So you have various things. So for example, you have MySQL. MySQL, it has got its own port number. Oracle, it has got a different port number. Okay. So you're looking at SSH, right? So SSH, yeah. So this is how it is. You can put a description as secure connection, secure SSH access, laptop. Similarly, if you look at this, allow HTTP access access from anywhere. Okay, so I'm just clicking on review and launch. So this will summarize of whatever we have selected. So we are choosing a free tier, which is T2 micro. We have, which is one virtual CPU, one memory. We are choosing a default configuration of EBS, and we have created a new security group which opens port 80 and 22. And these are the various instant details which is there. And then if you look at the storage, yeah, this is the storage option. And tags, we have created a tags that is also there, right? Now I'm going to launch. So you can either create a key pair, or you can you can choose an existing key pair. So what is this key pair, right? So this key pair consists of a public key and a private key. So that's how it works. So you have a public key and private key together. It helps you to uh, connect to this. So for Linux AMIs, the private key allows you to securely SSH into an instance. Okay. So I've already created a key pair. So it's called as a demo key P. So I'm going to launch it using the key pair, existing key pair. So I acknowledge. I'm clicking on acknowledge. Okay. And then I'm going to launch the instances. So you see this, it is creating security groups. It is creating. So it says now pending. You will now see this. So the public IP is automatically assigned. So it's still, you can see, look at this, right? You can see this in pending state. It will make sure that all the health checks are getting completed, so that it will be ready. So it will take for another 5 more minutes. So basically what we are doing as part of this demo is we are installing a Linux server, because we have selected T2 micro AMI using Amazon AMI. And after that, what we are doing is using automated script. We are installing Apache and trying to access this. So when you click on the public IP, the public IP is here, displayed here. This particular IP will say welcome to Java Home. So we'll see. We'll wait for this to. Um, so what does this do to have with your real life experience, right? Right. So as part of your real life experience, when you work as a AWS architect, you'll be asked to create a EC2 instances. Predominantly now we are all moving towards Linux. So a Linux server, web servers, right? Particularly if you work for an e-commerce website or e-commerce customer, you need to have design an architecture, design a web server which is running on Linux Apache. So you will install it and then you do all the configuration. So whatever you have seen is an automated script. Okay. Otherwise, what you have to do, you have to install Linux. Then on top of go do an SSH to that Linux server, and then install manually Apache, then configure it. So this automated script, it helps you to speed up the installation process. Any scripting always helps. So let's wait for this. It says running. Let me see whether it's able to work. It's still not coming. It's taking some more time. It'll take some time. Yeah, now it should come. You can look at this 2 bar 2 health checks passed. So I don't know what is the issue. So whenever you're not getting this, we have to. Yeah. Now it's come. Welcome to Java Home. So team, is it clear? Raghav, Rajesh, Shweta. It's just a small demo of how do you install an EC2 instance. Because in real life experience, if you're working as an AWS architect, you will be asked to install Linux servers. First of all, design the infrastructure, AWS infrastructure based on the requirements of the customer, number one. Based on that design, you're going to implement this, what services we'll be using. So this is just a simple demo of installing Apache on a Linux AMI, Amazon AMI, and then testing it out. So any questions, Raghav, Rajesh, Shweta? Hello?
Hey,
Yes, Rajesh, go ahead. Yeah.
nothing actually. So we have seen like how to install AWS, right? Like
No, this
instance.
is one of the, see, this is just a demo class to understand, no, where in terms of a practical, you will be doing it, right? So what will happen is that I'll be teaching the concept and you guys will be doing it. So the requirement is in terms of having a free tier account, right? So when you have a free tier account, you can play around with this, but it has got limitations. For example, if you take EC2, you need to make sure that your EC2 instances do not run for more than 750 hours in a month. So as and when you create test EC2 instances, you have to terminate then and there. If you allow that EC2 instances to keep on running, then you will overshoot and it will be charged to your credit card. So you have to be very careful when you do this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Raghav, anything from you?
No, Ganapati. Good.
Shweta?
Nothing.
So basically, you will be given scenarios of real time, right? On the job which you will be doing. That's one. Second thing, will be given uh, things of basically in terms of a project wherein you need to combine different AWS services and do a project. So all this we'll see at the end of this entire class, but concepts we will be able to teach you. Two, we will be giving a practical scenario which is more related to on the job. Three, will be given a project at the end of this and where you have to perform. You have to mix and match all the services and come out with this. So it helps you, but only thing dedicated time and effort is required. So I want the students to be sincere. Definitely, AWS is what is going to be the future. So uh, because it is far ahead in the cloud area compared to Azure and GCP. So if you have anything, any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer those. Pass, Sharon, anything is it required to wind up?
So Ganapati, one thing. So is it only AWS is enough to in the career to get a job, or do we need DevOps in addition?
Definitely, you need DevOps. AWS plus DevOps is a very excellent combination, right? Why I'll tell you, right? If you go through Naukri, you know, now if you do a Naukri, go to Google or go to Naukri and search for this one. There will be a, if you take 500 jobs, I'm just giving an example. 500 jobs are there in cloud. Around 350 to 400 will be AWS. Okay. Azure will get hardly 60, 70, and the remaining 30, 40 is all GCP. Very rare. Okay. But if you look at DevOps, because DevOps, you have many, you can go into many streams, right? For example, you can be a product owner, right? You can you can have multiple streams within DevOps. You can become a release manager, testing manager. You can become a DevOps architect, right? So you can become a Scrum master, right? So the concept is, if you know Agile, if you know DevOps, traditional DevOps, I'm saying, because the cloud DevOps is still evolving. So if you look at traditional DevOps, right, and if you're fundamentally from a development background, nothing like that. But even otherwise, right? Uh, if you take Jenkins, right, you should know how do you write a Groovy script, right? At least conceptually. Or if you take any of these cloud, if you look at scripting of cloud, YAML or JSON is what is very familiar, right? At least fundamental concepts, if you know, definitely you can, no, you can definitely get your chances of getting jobs in with AWS and DevOps is very high. I'll say about close to 90-95% compared to somebody with purely only AWS or purely only with the DevOps, because this works closely together, right? So if you know the traditional DevOps, how will you going to implement the traditional DevOps in AWS matters. For example, I'll just give an example, right? So as part of this DevOps lifecycle, so you know how it goes: plan, then you do a coding, then you do a build, then deploy, then you do a test, and then you implement it into production. Okay. Now, same thing, you'll be doing that in AWS. Conceptually, you have code commit, code build, code deploy, code pipeline, right? Which is similar to what we have pipeline, you have Jenkins, Bamboo. You understood, right? Similarly, if you look Azure DevOps, Azure DevOps is same thing. Conceptually, it will be same. You have Azure repos, you have Azure boards, right? So it is more or less the same, but the implementation could be different. So the concepts, if you are very clear in DevOps, how do you implement the concepts in AWS and Azure is very simple. But the key for you to be successful is knowing DevOps thoroughly and from a life cycle process. From the time you have create a code, you you build a code, you deploy it, test it, right, and then you can create a pipeline, you build it, and then create a pipeline, and then for um, release. So if you know this entire process, what tools you use, then only the tools which you use in AWS and Azure are different from a uh, nomenclature standpoint, but the concept is still the same. So if you look at Agile, you'll have sprints, you will have multiple sprints. That's still going to be there. So only the terminologies will be different. So it really helps, Rajesh. So did I answer to your question?
Yeah, in terms of DevOps, there are different tools, right? What would be the right combination? Like,
So it depends on what is the requirement of the customer. There's no one full-fledged answer for this.
so we will not be able to concentrate on all the tools, right? That's
No,
what.
no, no, no. Key tools you should know. I'll tell you. GitHub you should know for source control management. Okay, that's on the Git and GitHub. Then from a build perspective, Maven is okay, because I'm also working as a DevOps manager. So Maven is what we, of course you have and Gradle, but my own experience, I'm telling people that could be different elsewhere. The third thing is in terms of pipeline. That's all Jenkins integration, continuous integration. Okay, I have not used Bamboo for my customers, but I use Jenkins. And continuous monitoring, you have Nagios, and we have continuous deployment. We use Ansible for most of the customers. So all this Chef Puppet and all, it's all outdated now. So if you honestly ask me, these are the tools currently which is very prevalent in the market.
Okay. What about Kubernetes and Docker? So because I see most of them are
Yeah, so
asking.
correct. So that is what the future is going to be in terms of because Kubernetes is used for orchestration and Docker is used for containerization. So we will be covering Docker as part of the DevOps perspective. And Kubernetes, there is a separate topic which is altogether a separate topic on Kubernetes. But if you know fundamentals of the entire life cycle of DevOps and you have a knowledge on Docker, that will really help you. And Kubernetes is now it's evolving and customers are going towards that. But to answer to your question, AWS plus DevOps and specialized focus on Docker should definitely help you to get a job.
Okay. So how many hours it will be like in total, whether you will be taking, or is it a separate?
This is separate. You need to just check with Sharon on that. I can share the course contents to Sharon, and then he will share it with you in terms of DevOps, right? So there's a separate thing. Sharon will share that course contents to you. But this is separated. That is separate. Okay.
Okay. So both are dependent to learn, or is it like?
No, it is independent because this is conceptually from a design and architecture perspective, AWS. That DevOps is fundamentally on the developer and operations perspective. So,
Okay, fine.
Shweta, anything
Yeah,
from
hi.
you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working as an associate software developer. Is it worthy of doing AWS solution architect course instead of a developer course?
No, no, no. It depends. It depends on what you want to be, right? So, what is that you want to be in next 2 years to 5 years in the line, Shweta?
Because I don't have any knowledge about AWS, it is new for me.
You know,
So,
anything which is new, which is helpful, right? See, anything which is new, it will always help you because you definitely need to log into EC2 instances, create an EC2 instances. Definitely need to work on VPCs because you should know the core services, right? Forget about whether you're a developer or administrator. These are the core services which you need to know. Will definitely help you, Shweta.
okay. And within your package, both DevOps and solution architect course will be included, right? Or both
No,
are separate?
both are separate. Both are separate, Shweta.
Okay.
Okay, so if no more questions, we can wind up this call. Sharon, anything from your side before we wind up?
No, sir, we can wind up.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks, Raghav. Thanks,
Thank
Rajesh.
you. Thank
Thanks.
you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.